whole other cool thing. So, 21 Days of Moana, we're going to start today. This is part of the rock, and in the movie, the little rock is in this mother island, right? And out of it is flowing life and nature and creation, and everything's beautiful. Someone starts to shapeshift and turn into a bunch of different little things, or should I say creatures. That's another lesson for later. And the creatures start to he takes different forms. The guy takes different forms, which is Maui. He takes different forms and then plucks this out. So there was no one guarding the island. There was nothing going on. She was just there. She was sleeping. She was chilling. Everything was fine. She's like, I don't really think I need to protect anything. I mean, like, seriously, who's gonna take what is creating life and all these things? Like, who's gonna do that, right? Like, that doesn't make sense. Yeah. So anyways, Maui comes in, shapeshifts into all these different creatures, and then plucks this out. And the second he plucks it out, everything starts to crack and turn dark and then fall apart, and the island starts to, yeah, I do sound effects. That's what happened. It just went, and then, as the grandma says, the darkness started to spread, chasing away the life. And then she talks about what it does. But here's the thing. This little rock, how am I going to relate this to you? What the heck does this have to do with you or children or anything? Ladies nuts? Yeah, I am. But stick with me. What this has to do with is this little rock was taken. And from that point on, it wasn't the same. Nefertiti was gone, and it was not the same. This is what's in us. This is what's in every child right now. When it is taken, because in the world we're in right now, it is taken. When it is taken, it changes the child and it shifts the child, and it forever alters how they think, how they speak, what they think, their reality. It forever changes it when you pluck this out. And you're like, how do you pluck it out? Once a child's innocence, which is why this one is white-ish, is taken, it changes them. It changes them, and it changes not just them, but see, you were once a child. If you're watching this, you were once a child. Your stone might look like this now. It's still there, right? It's still there. But this is what you're missing. We need to protect children. We stopped doing it, and I don't know why, but we need to protect this so that it doesn't get taken by some little creature who then crumbles everything in that child that they've known and tears them apart and completely distorts them and turns them dark. I did relate it. Yes, I did. Let me keep going. This right here. So as adults, we look a little bit more like this. Ours was taken a long time ago, and we've forgotten. We have forgotten what it looks like. We have forgotten what it was. We have forgotten what it represents. But it represents the same thing as when it was taken, which is our innocence. How your innocence was taken, I don't know. There's a million different ways that children's innocence is taken. But how and when? It was when you were a child. Some of us are lucky, and it was more adolescent and youth. But nowadays, it's child, and it's getting younger and younger and younger, which is worse and worse and worse. You as an adult are missing this innocence piece. You're missing something, and you keep trying to fill it with stuff that doesn't fit, because this is what you still long for. Why wasn't anyone there when this was taken? In Moana, we're back to the movie. It was taken. There was no one there. There was no one there to understand what exactly happened and why Nefertiti just left. There was no one there to explain it. And for you, there's no one who can explain it but you, what happened to you, when it happened to you, and how it happened to you. But it was your innocence. And I'm just going to say real quick, what if someone was there at that time that you can recall, and they said, no, you're not. No, I'm gonna stand here and protect. Force field up. I don't think so. What if someone did that for you? You'd probably be really happy about that. Like, yes, can I go back in time? We can't go back in time. We can't hope they were there. We can't say, I wish that you had been there to do this. We can say it, but they weren't there. Here's the thing, though. Kids there's still innocence running around this world, and it's powerful. It is so powerful. Look in Moana what the innocence created. Islands, trees, nature, everything. Everything was created out of that. Do you know how much power is in innocence? I'll get to that one later, but we're still doing 21 days of Moana on day 1. This is my point. In Moana, this was taken from her. In like the very first couple scenes, it was taken. Okay, because it's explaining the story of why they're going to have the movie and what's going on. It was taken. This is taken from a child, and when it is taken, they turn into something completely different, and we can't figure out why. You don't know why? Okay, so as an adult, you're now dealing with this, and it looks a little bit different because the innocence isn't there anymore, and you want to know why. And you're like, if someone had been there, if someone was there to help me. I'm here to say, and I'm called to protect this group. I'm called to protect and say, I see where the creatures are trying to just shapeshift. I see what the creatures are doing that maybe not everyone else does. And it's not my job to make everyone see what I see, because that's not possible. But what I can do is say, I can see the creatures trying to steal the innocence. And before they get to what you're dealing with, and no matter how good you are, no matter how perfect you think you are and how your life is, there is somewhere that an innocence was taken. You might be repaired and healed and whole now, but there was still a time when it was taken, and you wish someone was there for you. And some people have extreme stories and wish someone was there for them so that it was never taken at such a young age, at such a ripe age. So please, I say, in my lesson for Moana today, when you take this, the darkness spreads. In the movie, it was from island to island. You think that this doesn't change your child when it's taken? You think it's okay to ruin their innocence? It's the month of October, it's Halloween. Please don't be the cause of a child's innocence being taken. I dropped it. And then turned into something else. Because that is a goal of some people out here. That is a goal of some creatures out here. You want someone to be there for yours. You would go back in time if you could and have someone protect you. And that way you don't respond the way that you do and react the way that you do. So wherever you are and whatever you're doing, any child within your sphere, pay attention to the movie Moana. Pay attention. Pay attention to this if you'd like to. Protect them as much as you can. Preserve this as much as you can so that it stays here and nothing and no one on your watch comes in and plucks it and throws it somewhere to never be found for hundreds of years, or in our case, 20 years, 30 years, 40 years. You think someone is in 60 still looking for their rock? God has called me to protect this group, and I will protect them, and I am going to protect them, and I'm going to continue teaching them and flipping everything that they have been taught previously about God, because it's not working. As you can see, the generations are getting worse. So whatever has been done isn't working. So God's given me divine wisdom and revelation, and I'm going to flip this sucker. And I'm going to teach kids different about this, to protect and preserve, even for themselves, to know things, to protect and to say things. But as an adult, I just want to say to you, this can still be yours, but I need you to also protect these that are in your sphere. Protect the children in your sphere. In this month of Halloween, please do the best you can, and every month and every day in your sphere, to think about the rock that you're missing, that you would like to go back into that space, because once it goes back, the life and the healing and the wholeness and all these things of who you were meant to be come out of it, and you want that person. Why would you not want that for your child, your grandchild, your niece, your nephew, your cousin, any child on this planet? Don't let these things come in and steal this. Please don't. I don't even know what to really say other than that, because I have a whole warrior thing ready, but y'all ain't ready for all that warrior stuff. But protect it and preserve it in children so it stops getting plucked out, like in the movie Moana, and then it disappeared forever, okay? We need to protect and preserve our children. this is my first lesson on Moana, and it is in the first few minutes of the movie of how this was plucked out of Nefertiti and then she disappeared. And you'll figure it out if you watch the movie, or you can also know where I'm going with this at the end of it to see what happens, because that's a whole other thing. That's a whole other thing, like a whole other thing, which is amazing to me. But 21, I can talk. Goodness gracious. 21 days of Moana. Lesson 1 today. Preserve and protect. Don't let the rock get stolen. And if you are an adult and you want your rock because it's already been stolen, from all of us who are an adult, you can let me know. I can definitely pray for you, but it's more than that, because God has someone in your life, or someone that's trying to come into your life, to guide you back to this. Whoever he uses, however he uses it, he will get it back to you. Just like in the movie. Once we get to the end. I'm not going to spoil it. So, thank you. 21 days. This is day 1. Remember, let's protect and preserve, not scare and be dark. Okay, thanks.